Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us for the January 13th, 2023 episode of Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm Dennis, and I'll be your host as we recap the latest super news that caught our attention across the multiverse. But as the show title suggests, it'll probably mostly be Marvel. Um, Later in this episode, we'll be putting a spotlight on the 2004 Halle Berry film Catwoman. But before that, we'll be getting some Q&A in with the remaining survivors that agreed to watch it with me. For those of you tuning in, don't be shy. We love hearing from you in the comments. And if you can't get enough of us, you should visit patreon.com/genxmedia, where you'll find a variety of creative offerings, including recent episodes of our live after show, The Soapbox. Patrons get exclusive access to chat with us. But if that's not your thing, don't worry. We release them to the public at a later date. Another show on there is also Cracking Snap, which is my friend Chi and I get together once a week and talk about Marvel Snap. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can find there. And then, okay, now that all those formalities are out of the way, let's get everyone out here so that I'm not by myself. First up, he's the Royland to my Harmon. It's Ricky.
I don't like that intro. That man just got allegations today.
We're a duo. Come on, we're a duo.
Oh no, I don't want to be that part of the duo.
It
The
makes
abuser
perfect
part of the
sense.
duo.
I just had to get that in there. It was too good. It was too fresh. I'll try and come up with a better one next time.
Okay.
Let's get our guest who's been patiently waiting for us, and I know probably was laughing about that one out here. Former co-host of this very show and someone who's always down to clown. It's Frank.
Hey yo, how's everyone doing today? Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
How's your guys' 2023 been so far?
Pretty chill since we haven't been doing the show.
Raining.
Is this the first show back from the new year?
You know what? This is the first show in like a month, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, when was the last
I
one we did?
December 1st, I
Black
think.
Panther,
Guardians,
right?
no, Guardians of
No,
the Galaxy.
Guardians.
Oh, the Christmas special.
The
What do you guys
holiday
think of that?
special.
Or holiday?
What-
Is it holiday?
I mean, you're just rhetorically asking because you watched the show, right?
Yeah, I'm rhetorically asking because I number one watched the show. Number two, we talked about it on Slack, and then I don't know. I just was
Okay.
making conversation. I'm just making polite conversation.
I'll be sure to include a link to that video right
just
there.
Put it right over my fucking stupid
Yeah.
face.
It
Yeah.
wasn't my cup of tea,
Wow.
but I'm not gonna yuck someone's Christmas yum. So-
Wow.
Which you kind of did though. You
Yeah.
did a little bit. You yucked it.
Wow.
You
Is
yucked it a
that
little
Mr. Scrooge? Is that Frank Cross?
bit. Right? Exactly. I gotta say, I've seen a lot of content last year that created a lot of new Christmas songs, and that one
Sure.
topped them all.
That was great. You know, I'd actually never heard of that band. I can't even think of the name of the band, but I don't know how they existed since like the 80s or the 70s or some
I
shit.
know, right?
Bootleg B-52s, right?
Yeah, what the hell, man? I never heard of them. They're crazy. They were like the people on Fox that were talking about I don't know, racial acceptance, but they were like under the guise of being purple skinned or something like that. I don't remember what the story was, but they were like purple skinned and they're all like, "Hey, accept everybody, like stop being assholes." Even back then, man, even back then.
That wasn't They Might Be Giants?
No, it was the crazy 88s or the 72s or
crazy
it's some
Oh,
number.
nice.
Hold on.
The number.
Let me
The
look it up.
number. What have you guys been nerding out on lately?
Ricky, you take it first.
Ooh. What have
This
I
is-
mean?
Remember the context of the question. I don't want to hear schoolwork.
It's been a lot of that.
Now that's not what you nerd
but,
out on.
I mean, I've been exploring the you guys know what Chat GPT is?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I've been manipulating that tool for educational
explain
purposes.
it for everyone. It's a tool. It's a chat AI that makes code.
It does more than
generate-
code. It does like just text and you know. So using my brain with Chat
It does
GPT's
text
brain,
and like
Just text and codes and then text and
yeah, text and
So what do? You tell it what you want it to code?
oh, yeah, what I want to write, and it'll write what I want it to write.
So if I can give an example, I asked it I asked it a question like, how's my day gonna go? Or is my day gonna go well today? And it was all like, you're an idiot. I can't answer that. And so like I was all like, okay, write me an 8-ball program. So it wrote me an 8-ball program. And then I asked the 8-ball program, how's my day? Is my day gonna go well today? And it said yes. And I'm like, okay, cool.
You could ask it to write you an article
Uh,
on the best deck in Marvel Snap, and it'll give you a pretty good AI generated article on the best deck in Marvel
okay,
Snap. Um,
that's interesting.
but it's a pretty cool tool that I've just been exploring for school and whatnots. But aside from that,
Wait, for school to cheat at school?
it's a tool.
Okay, okay.
It's like it's a tool.
Fair enough. It's like a pencil,
Um,
basically.
your words, not mine. We finished Andor. That show's great.
Nice.
And
That show,
why did it take you so long to finish Andor?
because of school.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you were just hyping it up without even finishing it.
I would watch each episode like with subtitles, but I wouldn't listen to each episode.
Okay,
For the sake of
alright,
not
Watch with
intruding on my
subtitles.
partner's sleep.
gotcha.
Mhm.
So wait, so you're saying
That's
you
love right
rewatched it
there.
then?
That's love.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wow. What about you, Frank?
I have not watched Andor yet, and I'll get to it eventually. It's on my list.
You're
Uh,
just binging Martin right now, right?
I am. Martin is way better than it has any right to be. Like
Like the
it's like
90s
yeah,
Martin?
the old Martin show. So I saw the reunion, and I was all like, "Man, this show's funny." They were showing clips of the show, and I was like laughing out loud, which is not something I generally do. And I watched the show, and like I was just it was laugh out loud funny. Like everything was really great, and a lot of the humor picks up. The subtle social issues that they talk about are still going on today, which is slightly depressing, but they're funny enough to hide that, to kind of sweep that depression under the rug.
Mhm.
Um, so Martin's one thing I'm binging. We also we're rewatching Weeds,
Mhm.
which is another thing where social issues again are still around from 2005 when that came out, and the show is still laugh out loud funny, and
Except weed is legal now.
except weed is
Yeah.
legal now, so it's really weird watching it, and they're all like trying to hide, and it's basically Breaking Bad but like with weed. It's like baby's first
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. It's like watching Breaking Bad if it were about like the prohibition or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, I've just been playing a lot of video games, Mortal Kombat X, and what's the other one? Assassin's Creed. I just started, and I just finished Alan Wake. So
Ooh, that's a good game.
eventually, I'll play new games, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I just started up The Witcher 3 on PS5,
Oh, nice.
the update.
How's
Um,
the update?
it looks pretty, man. It looks really pretty. You can turn on ray tracing on it, and it like
Nice.
there's parts of the game that do not handle that well, and like it's too pretty, and then there's flickering and stuff. But like for the most part, the game looks amazing. And they actually
There
did. I thought it was really cool. They actually did control updates to make it friendlier for consoles, because that's actually the reason I never finished it back in the day. Is like I didn't really like the console controls too much. They were a little clunky. They're better now. And then of course I immediately, once I got all excited about the controls and everything, I went and sat down and played Gwent. I just love Gwent in that game.
Gwent's a cool. I've never touched the Witcher games, but I always like Gwent for some reason.
Didn't they rip
Oh
that out into its own thing?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it's
That's how I started playing it.
the rules are different in
Ah.
the actual, like it's way easier to cheat in the single player one.
Gotcha,
Like,
gotcha.
or just be awesome at it. Like you can, it's less balanced, and that's what's fun about it, I guess. Because you can just like dominate some AI and be like, "You're such an idiot. God, you're so stupid, AI." Like, where'd
That's
you learn to play Gwent?
you just
Kindergarten?
dunk on the AI.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
What
pretty much. Yeah.
what else are you doing? Weren't you saying you were watching a show, or you just got done watching something?
Uh, I mean, we've been binging The Circle lately. I love that show so much. It's like it's one of the best reality shows. Just because like it's just all kind of like behind
You just like catfishing.
social media. Yeah, it's a lot of catfishing. But it's a lot of figuring out whose catfish is, but it's also just about how good are you at building relationships without actually ever meeting somebody physically. and
Mm.
I think
You
it's a
should
cool show.
watch the Manti Te'o documentary on Netflix. It's a sports documentary, but it's around a catfishing incident that was
Yeah, no,
pretty.
but I don't like depressing catfishing. Like that's not no.
It's depressing, but there is a point where you're like, man, that's kind of impressive.
No, 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 no. I don't like that. Like the example in the circle, people get to choose whether or not they want to be a catfish or they want to represent themselves. And like these two people that came in as themselves, they basically got like eliminated on like the first episode. And so what the producers do or did for this season for the double elimination is they have a an apartment that's 2 bedrooms, and they offered them the opportunity to move into that apartment together and assume the identity of this like total random lady that Netflix created for the show. And so they're like, you want to be a catfish and you can split the prize, or you can go home. And they're like, well, hell yeah. And so like it's really fun to watch these two people who have never met each other before, now live together and like have to be this 50-year-old like dog trainer lady who like who has to convince all these other younger people to like them and stuff like that. It's really funny, man. It's just it's a lot of good drama, but like a lot of really funny moments in that show. And
Well,
so it's
What's it on? What station?
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Netflix. Okay. What
the best
station? Wow,
What
I'm old.
station?
Did I turn
Yeah.
into my dad?
your
Calling
source
Yeah.
for all the
video games
catfishing
on the
content.
But it's
Nintendo.
like one of the most popular shows on Netflix, and that's like they actually produce multiple versions of it. Like all like they have like the Circle Brazil and the Circle like Japan, and like they have all these different ones.
So
And
there's a basically.
what's really cool is like they all use the same building. So they actually have to rotate, like production schedules, because it's always the same room or same apartments. But like you after a while you just kind of know the layouts of like the different apartments and stuff, and it's pretty funny. Um but yeah, that is the latest thing I've been watching. I don't remember what else I told you I've been watching, but
I think it was The Menu,
oh, I
which
watched The
isn't a
Menu.
show. It's not a show.
Yeah, that's a movie last week. It's
Still
pretty
waiting on
good
that one.
if you're into foodie stuff. Like if you've ever eaten at a fine dining restaurant and you just felt like this is too bougie, um, but I somehow ended up here, so that's kind of my fault too. Like
Yeah.
if you ever been in that situation, that movie is awesome. Like if you can't relate to it, if you're only like the kind of guy that just likes eating like burgers and hot dogs and
I
whatever,
mean,
like
I've
that's
eaten at a
fine.
2-story McDonald's. Where does that
Oh
no
shit.
Listen.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know Ricky was on that level of bouge
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah, but Anya
Took the elevator
Taylor-Joy
there.
and Ray Fiennes are just awesome in that movie.
Okay.
Highly recommend it if
Yeah,
Not
you
Nicholas
if you
Holt.
like.
No,
I
not
don't
Nicholas. Never Nicholas Holt. No.
I don't dislike Nicholas Holt in that movie, but he's not the reason I go see that any movie, period, ever.
So last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago for our anniversary, we went to this place in Bellevue called Ascend, and it's like this fine dining that's like on the 30-something floor where you can see this panoramic view of downtown Bellevue, and you can see all the way to Seattle. And they had like Miyazaki Wagyu beef that was like $51 an ounce, and you had to buy a
You should
minimum of
watch
3
Menu.
ounces. So yeah, so I'm totally stoked to go see Menu now. Now that
Yeah.
now that you've said all that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And like you do know it's like a dark comedy / horror movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was hearing.
Okay, cool.
I heard there was two of them that are similar to that are out right now, and I can't remember what the second one. It was like Dreamlight or
Yeah,
Twilight or
I don't know.
something else.
Yeah,
Something not as well received as the Menu. Maybe the Beachlight. I don't know.
highly recommend it. I think I recommend everything with Anya Taylor-Joy in it. I even love her in New Mutants, which I know a lot of people don't like.
New Mutants was alright. I think the only one that was
Yeah.
kind of like was that one where she's an old lady or something, or that's the twist at the end. So sorry if nobody's seen it, but I just gave away the ending. She's the old lady.
Now our viewers are gonna watch every Anya Taylor-Joy movie.
Yeah, I
and
want
then
to
one
find the
of
old
them they're
lady
gonna
movie.
they're gonna be like, "Damn it! Oh, you know what? I know what movie you're talking about."
What? Oh, it's Last Night
Yeah,
in Soho. That's
but you
right.
know what? I'm not gonna knock her for that movie. She's good in that movie.
True. Okay.
She's good in it. Like that's what I like. That's what I had to say about The Menu. Is she and Ray Fiennes are amazing in it. I don't know if the movie's like I don't know how well the movie will hold up, or but they carry it. They carry it.
Ray Fiennes is M, right, in the newer
Yeah.
James Bond. Okay, and
Yes.
he's Voldemort
And
and
he's
all that,
Mhm.
Voldemort. Yeah, he's a great
and
actor
he's
all the time.
Hades. He's
He
Hades
was
and
also
in the
in
best.
Red Dragon, right? Red
Oh yeah,
Dragon.
that's right. Yeah,
Oh God, he
he had the
was.
hair lip. That's right.
I saw that movie in the theaters as a child.
Yeah,
That was
that's not surprising at all.
nope.
in the Oh man, that's
Yeah.
as a child. When you say child, what year are you saying?
Last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
last year. Okay, got it. Yeah. I didn't know they re-released
I
it.
was,
They
I was a
brought it
big
out.
Ed Norton fan as a kid, so
Perfect,
Well,
perfect.
I
Ed
mean,
Norton and Ralph Cramden and the other honeymooners.
that's just how we like looking at you. It's fine.
That's true.
But we do rely on you to your youthful charm to cultivate the news for us. So, would you like to do that for us now?
I would. First news of 2023. I feel like a lot of
We're
shit
pretty
kind of
current.
happened, and a lot of shit hasn't happened in the year or the month that we haven't done this.
It's true. It's true. I mean, like that, yeah, like we said earlier, the last thing that we talked about on this show was Guardians of the Galaxy and holiday special, and
We didn't even
there
talk about
hasn't.
Avatar. We saw Avatar.
The Last
Yeah, but
Airbender,
Yes.
the M Night Shyamalan
you
vehicle.
know, I don't, I don't feel like that franchise belongs in this space. But that's just me. Like
All right.
I don't,
I haven't seen it.
Now, let me adjust the news here for a minute.
I'm not proud to have seen
$2
it.
billion, 3 sequels.
You were a fan of the first one though, right, Dennis?
I like the first one
Yeah.
enough, but I don't like love the.
I don't
first
think. I think that's where I'm at with this one. I don't know if they wrote an out on the third movie. It's pretty clear that they're gonna do all 5 movies. I don't know if I want the 5. I could probably do one more.
I
Well,
didn't want 2 or 3 or 4.
I can't really speak for you, Ricky, but me and Dennis will be dead at the pace they're coming out
It
with.
probably
them.
will be. Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's a good
20 years from
I
now.
thought they're doing one every year.
Oh, is it? They're
One
increasing the pace.
is next is 2024,
Oh, one every other year.
and then I believe after 2024 it's every year
Oh, okay.
because they're
Oh,
right.
so we're not waiting 13 years for.
Well,
No.
3's already done.
Oh, okay. Did
Yeah.
they did it simultaneously with 2?
Yeah, they shot 3 and parts of 4 together.
It's because Sam Worthington's schedule is so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's got Clash of the Titans
Yeah,
reunion.
Clash 5, Man on the Ledge 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about Avatar. We want to talk about the news.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still Disney adjacent. The mouse is turning 100, or I guess Disney's turning 100. And
What?
right? Disney's older than the mouse.
Wait, why is Goofy Spider-Man? What bullshit is that?
Anyways, as part of the 100 celebration of Disney, they are releasing some variant covers, 12 to be exact, with their with Disney's iconic characters taking the place of Marvel's iconic characters. So, a little sampler of some of the offering that they have.
This is
Those
the
are actually
darkest
really cool.
timeline.
It's called
I
brand
actually-
synergy.
I want to give them money. And you know what? When Disney bought Marvel, this is the kind of shit we said was going to happen.
It is. And then they ended up with remember how back in the day the Simpsons used to parody Marvel as best as they could because
Yeah.
they couldn't and then the day Disney did a full on the Simpsons did a full on Avengers special in the show or something, and I'm like, this is weird. It's the world's different now when
Yeah.
corporations own smaller corporations that own smaller ones, and they can do stuff like this.
Yeah, they can do stuff like this at a whim.
You know, I do like Pluto as the Silver Surfer, though. I don't know if that's a step up from Lawrence Fishburne or if it's maybe a lateral step.
You just reminded me. I don't know why. Probably because for some reason I associate the Silver Surfer with drugs, and then
That
my
Mondo
brain
poster?
my brain went from drugs to um to Scooby-Doo. Have you guys seen the new Velma show is on HBO Max?
Mm-mm.
I've heard mixed feelings on it.
Is it live action or cartoon?
No,
Cartoon.
it's a cartoon, but it's for adults.
Yeah, it's an adult.
It's so
Okay.
it's violent, probably graphic in other ways, and they kind of like they reimagine the characters as more diverse. So like Sam Richardson plays Shaggy. That guy's funny, by the way. If you've never seen anything with Sam Richardson before,
Who's Sam Richardson?
he's in Veep.
Yeah. You
He's,
always bring up Veep, and I never know.
Yeah.
his Veep is great. I'm trying to remember what else he's in.
Look him
He's
up.
also in Ted Lasso.
Still
he's
haven't
the-
seen that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyways,
He's in Hocus Pocus 2, guys.
yes, there you go.
All right, there's one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy. That guy. Yeah.
All right.
But it looks pretty crazy, and Mindy Kaling is producing it and is the voice of Velma. And I don't think the dog is in it.
Oh,
It's like them in high school, I
Yeah,
guess.
it costs. He
before-
costs money.
how do they explain the dog, or do they?
He just
It's-
wasn't.
I think it's
adopted yet.
Maybe it's a prequel. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the trailer for it today, and I'm like, I need to watch this.
Well, speaking of dogs,
I wanted to see that. so bad.
Disneyland Paris, they're gonna do an Avengers drone show as
Oh.
part of their nightly entertainment lineup. Thought it was kind of cool.
It is
See them
cool.
get in the drone space. Hopefully, that comes to the Disney lands and worlds here in the U.S.
That's nice. They did a drone show for New Year's at the Space Needle, and it was amazing. We watched the pre-recording of it, or the pre-show. They did like some sort of like precursor to the New Year's show, and they were doing like Pokemon shapes and like crazy things with the drones.
Yeah, I want a cool drone show. I don't want fireworks.
Yeah.
We've had that shit for hundreds of years. Give me drones.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah. Hundreds. No, I'm glad to have drones, like just kill Mysterio with them and
Yeah.
maybe lay waste to London.
Dogs
great.
don't hate them.
Yeah, I was curious how you were gonna tie that into the dog
Yeah,
thing, but there
yeah.
you go. You did it. It took you a while. Took you
Yep.
a while. What else you got?
I always bring it back, but
He's
don't-
back?
I
He's
didn't-
back,
he's
boys.
back. He is back in the form of a documentary coming to Disney Plus this year.
Who is he for the
Stan
listeners?
Stan Lee, who passed away a few years ago.
Shit,
His
he did.
mhm.
They shove
news.
robot parts in him, and he's animatronic now. Everybody.
Yeah, they brought him back. Well, no, it's to celebrate his 100-year birthday. This was it in December?
So he's as old as Disney.
He is as
Wow.
old as Disney. He gets a documentary which will be debuting at some time in 2023.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Alright.
cool. Who's gonna
And
play him? Sebastian Stan,
Yes.
Margot
Austin Butler
Robbie.
will be playing a young Stan Lee.
All right.
And last but not least, we got a new Ant-Man trailer. Usually a second trailer doesn't necessarily warrant our attention on the Mostly Marvel podcast, but I feel like the little glimpses of our boy MODOK
There's a big development. Yep.
is a pretty big addition to the MCU. Pun intended.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
How
Is
do you
it-
guys
About the
feel
pun or
that
about the
the
MODOK?
rumors are true and that he is Darren Cross?
Yeah, there is a picture of a unmasked MODOK.
Did he look Darren Cross to you though?
Yes, it is Darren Cross.
he did.
Why are you spoiling? You're just spoiling it.
They show
It's in the trailer. It's in the trailer.
Oh, I didn't.
In the trailer, in the background, there is a big ass Darren Cross head.
You think that's Darren Cross? I don't know. It looks like maybe
You
I'm
saw it, right?
racist
Are we
against
looking at
white
the same
people or
picture?
We're
something.
talking about Yellow Jacket, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird. You know, like I know.
Is it
this-
a little
I know-
dirty that MODOK's in the quantum realm? Would
Yeah.
you want to aim MODOK?
See, yeah, I had a whole thing because I knew you were going to bring this up,
Mhm.
and I think this is going to segue really well into the conversation we have later about Catwoman.
About
But, like,
patience.
But I think the problem I have with the way when you present when you present Marvel as a series of movies, right? And you only get like a 2-hour movie every, few months, and so you can't get them as often as you can. You lose the ability to like weave things in a way that that is more fluid. Like the Marvel comics, AIM, Hydra, and the Hand just are entities that never go away. They're just always persistent
Just
in
like
that universe,
Texas.
right? And so like it's fine when you add a new character to AIM or when you add a new character to, like when they're meant to be uh places to like fit in a character of a certain type of origin, right? So you want a new sci-fi origin character, go to AIM. Like you want a mystical ninja type character, you're in the Hand. Like when you don't have those and you start watching the movies try to squeeze characters in where they don't fit or mash them into something else, like we did with Taskmaster.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It gets weird. And
But
so
I don't
like
think AIM would work in the MCU though. Like I
Why
know
not?
the AIM has been in the MCU.
Well, first of all, AIM has been in the MCU in
Yes.
Iron Man 3,
But it was just like a
and it was fine. It worked fine. Like,
but they weren't evil, right? It
yes
was
they
just a
yes, they were.
yes
You
they
don't think they were
were.
evil?
no, I
Yes
don't I
they
don't
were.
I don't I think the people running AIM were evil, but I don't think AIM as a company was an evil entity
They
in
had an
Iron Man
evil
What
3.
where did you
401k.
get anything to present that to you? That Where did you decide AIM's not evil though? They're not all bad.
Yeah,
What given what you were presented in the
because
story
the head dude was working on Extremis.
and
Guy
how many
Pierce is
other
working on
dudes did you meet?
just him.
Just
Then why would you assume that AIM is not evil?
Because AIM's a bigger company. There's like probably they're probably working on a cool
AIM
shit over
AIM
there.
is the AIM is the product of the head dude.
No,
Whoever the guy in charge of AIM is, everything underneath it is going to be suiting his needs.
by that logic, Stark Industries is pretty shitty.
Yes,
Given
it
Stark
was,
Industries
yes.
is shitty.
That's the
And
whole.
that's
That's
why
the whole
that's
point
why
of
he
the story of
spends.
Iron Man.
Yes, exactly. You're
That's
correct.
Mm.
that's the arc, and that's why like Obadiah Stane was fighting against Tony Stark and trying to take over the company.
And that's why Tony has to spend the rest of his life doing countless heroic acts to balance out all of the evil that his company has done in the world.
And every step of Tony's journey, he learned just how deep the evil goes, and he learned about perception, like in Sokovia, how he's perceived as evil,
Is
and
the
then he was
next thing
still
you
trying to atone for it.
Yeah, is the next thing you're going to tell me is not everybody in Hydra is bad?
Yeah, the guy that
I
that
mean
installs the toilets
that might be on
is
the
pretty
list,
good.
but I don't know if I want to die on that hill.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those are Nazi adjacents. If AIM was
Or
Nazi adjacent, I think it'd be a little.
AIM is Nazi adjacent. AIM is the tech group that's a spin-off of Hydra.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Or maybe he was going to talk about the nice guy in Hand, the guy that volunteers at local soup kitchens, and reads to the orphanage.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were somewhat connected. Because I
They
thought
are,
Hydra was
yes.
the science division of Nazis. So the
Nah.
science
I
people got
mean,
more science
For the
people.
purposes of the MCU, yes.
Okay.
yeah, but Hydra's really just like they were working alongside the Nazis.
Okay.
Like but it's not that they were the more and they're not necessarily the sciencey ones because they were also
Th-
the group looking for the mystical artifacts and stuff too.
They're
You know what
more
I
of a
mean? Like,
terrorist organization, though,
yeah.
for the
Okay.
most part.
Anyways, don't die
All
on that
right.
hill.
Okay. And rounding out some of the news from our hiatus, got some toys. Let's walk through what we got coming up in the Marvel Legends space.
New ones. I just got my Conchu Wave figures
Oh
in the
shit!
mail yesterday. Chaod
Oh,
is the
Chode?
build of Chaod or Chode, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's Chaod. The Starjammer, and his sidekick. I forget the name of that little
Looks like
guy.
Wendigo.
No, sure. The
Baby
is
Wendigo.
the build a figure for the new X-Men, the first X-Men series of the year. I think there's going to be more than one because this marks the 60th anniversary of the X-Men
Mhm.
this year, 2023. So they have a lot planned. I already showed you guys earlier in December. They did the pre-orders for all the blue and yellow costumes for like all the characters from the Jim Lee comics. But yeah, this wave is going to include Chamber, which that is an amazing
That
looking head.
chamber's sick.
Yeah, that is really cool. Chamber, keep going, Ricky.
Corsair.
Corsair.
Nice.
See, not
Oh
only
yeah,
do we
he
get
makes good RAM.
not only do we get one Star Jammer, but we get two. Like I've been waiting forever for them
Oh
to do
shit.
this. Astonishing Cyclops on a new body that's on the same body as Vulcan, which is kind of funny.
That's really cool.
A
'Cause
brand new
they're related.
Astonishing Emma Frost.
Pretty
Um,
good.
I love
Pretty
that
good.
figure. It looks really good. I like the cape.
Oh
Fang
shit.
from the Imperial Guard of the Shi'ar Empire,
That's dope.
and Kid Omega. This is using the smaller Amazing Fantasy 15 body for Spider-Man,
Hmm.
I believe. So it's the new pinless young teenager kid like body. So he's shorter and stuff and
Who's
looks pretty
Kid
cool.
Omega? I'm not familiar with him.
Isn't he from he's from what's his name? Grant Morrison's run on New X-Men, right?
What does Kid Omega do?
Man, I don't remember.
I I went in
He's
and
an
out of
Omega level
Grant
mutant.
Morrison's run. I think that if that was around if that was around that time, it was like 2000-ish or something. Like I was kind
Yeah.
of out by 2001-ish and then back by 2005-ish. So
And then Monet
yeah.
Saint
LaCroix?
Croix.
Sequoia.
I don't remember what she does, but I know she's in that comic that I made you guys read, or I made
She
Frank
Like
read.
her
she's
bracers. She is kind of cool.
She's a Hellion, though, right? She's from the Massachusetts Academy.
I
That's
know
why
her
she's wearing
I
that
know her
outfit.
mostly from X Factor. She bangs multiple man, but actually a bunch of people bang multiple man in that one. But uh she has I think she has the generic super strength and invulnerability kind of
Yep.
power set.
Yeah,
She might have something else
she's
too.
she's in the Powers of X House of X story. I remember,
Yeah.
but she didn't play a big part. Was that all of them, Ricky? I don't.
That was it from
And
that
then
wave.
Chode.
Were there more?
Mm, no, maybe that was all of them. But yeah, it's a pretty cool wave, and that's like the first, the first wave if you don't count the special box sets that they're putting out. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see more because like I mean we've been collecting, Marvel Legends collectors have been collecting for 21 years now, and not one Starjammer, not one, and
Who are the
so
Starjammers?
That's
they're
Scott
space
Summers'
pirates.
dad's pirate
Are
team.
they space mutants?
No, but
No.
Corsair is the father of three notable mutants: Havoc, Cyclops, and Vulcan.
So just
And he makes good
for
computer
for
parts
the sake of our audience,
for the sake.
is the mutant gene something that only humans can pass along, or are there like
No,
No.
space humanoids that also have the mutant gene?
yes.
Okay.
I don't know why it has to be space humanoids, but
Space
like
humanoids.
I mean Namor is a mutant.
Yeah, but he's on Earth.
Yeah, he's an
But
Earth
that to
humanoid.
be on Earth is not what makes you human. Otherwise, my dog would be a human. It makes you an
I think,
Earthling.
I think we're splitting hairs here, but
We're not splitting hairs.
Wait, dogs can be mutants, can't they?
Yeah, anything can be a mutant
okay.
But
if it's
do the
alive.
Inhumans count as
Doesn't matter.
mutants?
No,
They're just Inhumans, right?
because
That's their
Professor
They
X
get
has
the
a
mist.
Professor X has a very dickish, very specific definition of what a mutant is, and it's a gene that you're born with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yes. The Inhumans have a different gene that they're born with that is then activated
With
by the
Terrigen
Terrigen
Mist.
by the
mists.
mist.
Yes.
The Sierra mist.
The Sierra
Yeah.
Mist, the Mountain Dew.
Mhm.
That's good stuff.
That-
Yeah, we've
yeah.
all seen the Inhuman show, so we know
Yeah,
we
I
know
saw that
everything
in
about
IMAX.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
That
You
amazing
know,
vehicle for Anson Melt
you
or
know,
whatever his name is.
that's honestly a really good point, that I always wanna remind. I'm always happy to remind people is if you're tuning into the show, this is awesome. Thank you so much. If you're tuning in because you think that we are the nerdiest of Marvel or DC or whatever fans ever, you're probably wrong because I have never watched Inhumans. I draw a line at certain
I
things, like
remember on my most recent trip to Hawaii, we went to, I believe it's called Kualoa Ranch,
yes, that's
Kulo
the
where
Ranch.
they
ranch.
where they filmed, I guess most notably Jurassic Park, but
Yeah.
also a ton of other movies. Like Jumanji is probably the most recent big
Mhm.
movie.
It's also where you can get some good grass-fed beef.
Good, get some good beef there.
Oh,
But during our little tour of the ranch to see all the shooting locations, they passed by this like rock thing. They're like, "Guess what Marvel property shot here?"
oh no.
And yeah, they name dropped the Inhumans. They were pretty proud of that one.
Most of their
Well,
scenes seem to be either in some nondescript building or like
Now that I think about it, I
Hawaii.
believe that movie wasn't that, or that show was like
it
in Hawaii.
yeah,
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was.
it takes
yeah,
place
yeah.
in Hawaii. I only know that because I went to the Marvel Inhumans panel at Comic-Con, and I saw just the scenes they showed me, and I leaned over to my wife and I was like, "This show looks bad." Like, and,
So you didn't
yeah,
see Karnak trip and fall?
no,
Karnak of all people tripping and okay.
no,
He
nope.
trips and falls and bonks his head and loses his powers.
Mhm.
Oh, I heard Medusa gets her head shaved.
She does, yeah. Her
Yeah.
invulnerable hair, I guess, is
Well,
vulnerable
it's
to
expensive, so
clippers. Yeah.
you gotta.
Yeah.
All right, I
I'll
think.
say I'll say that her hair didn't look expensive.
All right. I,
Oh,
I think I think Ricky, I know where you're going with this. I don't have a cool intro for this other than we wanted to do something different for this year. We wanted to celebrate all these fun guests that we have come on the show, especially Frank, who, did his tour of duty for over a year on this
mhm.
show. Um, and I just kind of felt like instead of doing trivia that doesn't necessarily tell you much about us. It just tells you what kind of stupid, nerdy thing we consumed at some point in our lives, and now it's stuck in our brain. I thought I would try and go out there and find the questions that people want to know about us, and I wanted to
Ooh.
find the questions that I think some of them specifically for Frank. But these are kind of open to all of us for sure. So we're gonna do Q&A, and then we'll insert some cool music there later at some date. Yeah.
Like the
So
ball fondlers
Q Q
theme or
Q
something?
Q.
here we go. I got some from various people out there in the world. Uh First one at Ilgamesh asks, Frank, I heard you have several tattoos. How many? What's your nerdiest? And where's your dirtiest?
Ooh.
Interesting. Let me see. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 tattoos. My dirtiest is on my boob. But that's my daughter's name, so then that removes the dirty factor.
Yeah, they
Uh,
cancel out.
I would say the nerdiest is either Link from Legend of Zelda on my arm or my Green Lantern tattoo on my right hand.
Let's see it.
I think the Green
Oh,
Lantern one's probably nerdier.
you think that's nerdier?
Yeah.
The
I
the
mean, you
problem the
physically have a Green Lantern ring on
That's what they
your
give the
finger.
Mhm.
Mexican Green Lanterns that join the Corps. They can't give them. They can't be bothered to give them a real ring. They just tack one on there and tell you good luck.
Isn't the most prominent or not the most current Green Lantern Mexican? Right? Am I
I,
not?
I, I don't know actually. I stopped keeping up with comic books recently. Like I just kind of dropped it
I
all. But
can't. I can't recall her name, but I believe the most current one is. But could be wrong.
that's cool. Um, yeah, I would say that's the nerdiest. And people at cons always want to touch it. Like if they see that they have a tattoo and I have a tattoo, they're all like, "Oh, let's touch rings," and I'm all like, this is weird. This is weird. Like when you go to orgies with them and they're all like, "Oh, let's touch rings for a second," and I'm like, I don't want to right now. So
Thanks for working the orgy into the show.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, if
Appreciate it.
Disney Marvel can do it during Thor, they could work in 4
true.
instances of orgies, then we could do it too. And
Mhm.
this is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
family friendly.
It gets us a
It's true.
PG-13. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
gets
true.
to PG-13. We
It's
have
true.
one F-bomb that we can use. I think I used it already
Yeah,
though.
you already did.
Yeah, sorry
Well,
guys.
well, let's see. Let's see if we can keep the PG-13 going. Up next, Hermione Banger, uh, best video game theme song.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I'll leave that up for a minute. I
Best
think that's
video
for
game
open
theme
to
song.
all of us.
It's gonna be the Niles Rogers sick Halo rift from Halo 2.
That's a
Hmm.
good
That
one.
that theme song just gets you going.
That is a pretty good one.
Do you guys there was an album by the artist Compute Her, which was a chiptune album, and I, for whatever reason, in high school just loved it. I loved every minute of that whole chiptune album, but just that. And I feel like I hear people in like the video game space like talk about listening to chiptune music, and for whatever reason, like I can't find myself pulling up soundtracks like that, like
Mm,
to listen on a whim.
Yeah, I mean this should have been. This is a Clark question for sure.
Mhm.
I can't go best one, but I'm gonna go top 3 for different reasons. So the weeb in me's got to say the One Winged Angel song from Final Fantasy VII, the
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty
I
good
think
one.
that's a great one. I think the second one is like
But is
the
that the theme song?
oh yeah, you're right. You're right. If it's video game themed, then yeah, probably not. Then if it's theme, then maybe Mario 2 would be another good one because it has that cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. That one really gets me going. It gets like I picture like a Chevy Chase playing My Little Buttercup in Three Amigos. But I think like one of the coolest theme songs for me, this is kind of a weird, not a deep cut, but like a weird cut. It'd be like Doom. Um, like
Like
it's got that hardcore.
They
Yeah,
have
it's really
some
cool.
Doom music in Fortnite right now. You
Do they
can use
really?
the
Oh yes, I
the
saw
Doom.
the Slayer dude. Right?
Yeah, yeah, the Doom Slayer's in the game right now.
Yeah, that's sick.
Uh,
So Doom
I'm
for
I'm
me,
gonna
I
try.
think.
I'm gonna try and do what you did because a top three is easier. Without putting them in any order, I would actually have to say, um, in every iteration of Zelda, when they finally do the theme, it's always badass and it always
Yeah.
gets me going. Like um, it's like sometimes you wait a long time for it. You're like, just do the song,
Do that thing.
and then when they do it, it's so satisfying because that first version of it got it so right, and then like every version after is always done, one up on it. So that one's a really high one for me. Another one is the Metal Gear Solid intro music that goes do 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 do. It like that's stuck in my head
does
forever,
Marvel
man.
vs. Capcom 2 count?
Gonna
That
We're
was
take you
gonna
pretty
for
take
a
you for a
ride.
ride.
Take You
That's
for a Ride's a
that's
pretty
that's
pretty
a
fucking
that's
good
one of the
song.
best annoying ones ever.
That's an
Um,
earworm song for sure.
it's an earworm. Yeah, yeah. And then
What was your did you have a
and
third one, Dennis, you
I
said?
did, but Ricky interrupted
Mhm.
me and I lost it. I just
Oh,
lost it.
no.
Daytona,
I just
USA is pretty good too.
From Cruisin'?
Daytona. Yeah, from Cruising, sorry.
Oh, you know which one has always kind of followed me in my life? Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah, it's classic.
That's a pretty good one for me too. But yeah, it's probably not in my top three, but I honestly forget. Oh, you know what? I remember what it was. Maximum Carnage.
Oh, cool.
I don't know why that song, that theme song just sticks in my head forever and ever and ever.
Well, would it count if you chose a theme song that was actually like a TV show song, like Spider-Man? Like if you play like Spider-Man
No,
for the PS1, they play like the Spider-Man theme song from the '60s.
unless
Doesn't
it was
count?
made
Mm,
for the game.
Has to be made for the game.
Yeah.
These are
I
the new
mean,
rules that
it wasn't
Hermione
specified in that
Yep.
Hermione
by
Pussy Slayer or
by
whatever.
Hermione
Mhm.
Banger.
Banger.
Um,
Pussy Slayer. That was close.
all right, next question for you guys.
Wait, did Ricky answer?
Yeah,
Just
Halo.
Halo
Yeah,
2. Okay.
he went with the chiptunes thing.
Okay.
At BattleChodes420, what's your fave superhero action scene? If you can't pick one, top 3. Oh, that's
Hey,
funny.
oh shit! So we totally broke the rules
You
that
broke the
Oh
rules.
yeah.
Hermione
Hermione set
Banger
forth.
had one. That one said best video game theme song. So BattleChodes, what do you think? Best or favorite superhero action scene? If you can't pick one, top 3. I
Mm,
think I know one, and I don't. I know there's like a million great ones, and like, yeah, I want to let you guys go first on this.
Oh man. I could probably I know two. The third's I don't know. I can't think of the third.
as a Raimi fan, I have to go train scene, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I have to. I'm like
It's pretty good.
contractually
It's pretty
obligated
good.
as a
Pretty good
Raimi
scene.
It's
fan.
almost as good as Crane scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 or 1.
What's that? What's that movie? I've never heard of that. What is that movie? Um, there was something. I wanted to know if the Cuban Pete sequence counts as an
I
action
was
scene.
thinking of that
Does
one
that
too.
does it count as an action scene? Let's in the
I
tribunal of nerds.
I mean, I was
Is the
considering that
mask
one
a
too.
superhero?
He
Yes.
is. He even says he is. I'm a superhero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
I
Done.
don't think I've ever seen the mask all the way through.
We're watching that.
Oh
We're
yeah,
Oh.
that's the
That's
next one.
happening. That's happening.
Let's see. I have to think of a third one though. When you guys stall for time, please, while I think of a. Oh, you know what?
Um,
No, the rave scene in Blade. That's a great one.
That's pretty good. You know which one always like I never I like it's the bar for which I compare so many other superhero movies to. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, that scene where he fights Bucky on the street
the knife.
and the knife drops and like, oh my god, just I never get tired of watching that scene, and it's so simple. It's not even like super heroic, like it's just like it's peak
I
human like
don't.
abilities going on. But the
Yeah.
choreography in that scene is so amazing that I'm immersed. I'm immersed
I'll
in the moment.
I'll counter with that one by saying I think the Nick Fury car scene is a better scene
Ooh,
in
that's a
that
good one.
movie when they
Like
crash his car and pin his
it's a
car.
Blow
it's
it
a
up,
cool scene. It's a cool scene. I
and he has a
disagree though.
lightsaber.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has a
Yes, he has a
lightsaber.
lightsaber. I mean, will I be taken down by my picks? For first off, Avengers Endgame. That sequence, Avengers Assemble, I still shed a tear to this day every time I see it. And I watch it
It's
every
good, but
now and then.
I don't think it's a good action scene. I think it's a good scene to pull at your heartstrings before the
I think
generic
that's
action
why
scene.
because it pulls on so many strings where I've actually tried to watch it to like not gonna cry,
But I
not gonna
think
cry.
everything before the action is what's awesome, right? When
I
Captain
think it's
America
just such a
stands up,
beautiful splash
tightens the
page.
straps on his shield, or like,
It's
and
emotional,
yeah,
but
all I agree with you that all of that leading up to the action is some of the best stuff there. But I don't think that's a good action scene. Do you see
mm,
what I'm saying?
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I'll get some love from Frank on this one. But that scene where the Flash looks at Superman looks at the Flash in BVS or in Justice League, whatever it
You
Whatever
was
it
don't
kind of
even
was.
what
think
it was kind of
whatever movie
fucking
it was.
cool.
Oh yeah,
Whatever it
when he gives
was.
him that like look,
Yeah,
I can't
that's
believe you
cool.
didn't
Okay,
go for
that's
the
fun.
fight scene in Man of Steel.
that was my second pick. That I mean, I like Man of Steel.
That's cool. See, I actually got
I
a
don't know if
more of
that's
an
an action thing though.
appreciation for the Snyderverse over the past few months. I've been watching them a lot, so it might be just Stockholm syndrome, but I like them a lot better. I hold them in higher regard. Are they
Mm,
good movies? That's hard. No,
mm,
I gotta
You
say
should
no.
check out the last episode of Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a Snyderverse version of their show, and so they set out to go find Zack Snyder, and he actually is in the episode,
Oh wow.
and he does a Teen Titans scene for them, and it's that show reimagined as a Zack Snyder production.
Do they murder Jimmy Olsen in it or?
No, but it's really cool looking though. Like it's pretty cool. It's cool. They fight Darkseid. Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
just
pretty
for one
sweet.
scene. Yeah, it's cool.
Do they sing Hallelujah?
Yeah, yeah.
Do they really?
No, no,
Oh, I was gonna say that's awesome. That's perfect.
no, no.
Peak pinnacle Zack Snyder right there.
I won't hate on the Man of Steel action scene. Like I would never knock the special effects or action in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You'll never hear me knock that stuff.
I mean, I like the parts on Krypton, and I like because that's what they call it, Krypton. No, that's what what's his name? Marlon Brando called it
Yeah.
Krypton.
Crispin Glover?
I like the scene. Is Crispin Glover in it?
No.
Smelling people's hair, acting all weird. Um, no, I like Man of Steel overall. I think it's pretty cool. I don't mind that he kills. I don't mind anything about it. It's just it's like I don't mind it. It's not like I go out of my way to love it, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
the Richard Donner ones, I'll go out of my way and like watch it and love it and think it's great, get
Haven't
nostalgic.
seen those.
Did you give 3, by the way?
Yeah, what was your
Well, I thought we
Ricky?
we debunked his Avengers Assemble, or you debunked his Avengers
Yeah. Oh,
Assemble.
I have to
Yeah.
pick another one?
And now you have to pick another one
Yeah, you
because
do.
Oh,
You
shit.
we
do.
don't.
That
The
wasn't an
Tribunal
action
does
scene.
not recognize Avengers Assemble.
Yeah, you asked us.
Superhero action scene.
I can give you another one while he's thinking of
Give
one.
me another one.
RoboCop in the cocaine lab
Yeah, it's a
when
pretty
he
good
just
one.
starts murdering everyone and the music's playing. Oh man. I mean, every action scene in that movie is great, but like when he's just totally like no hand or no look murdering people like all over the place, like, and they're just dropping like flies. Yeah.
It's a
I
pretty
never
good
get tired of
scene.
that one.
I was gonna go jetpack scene in
Is
RoboCop 3,
RoboCop a
but
superhero? Are we? I feel like we're.
oh, the Tribunal's we're being brought back. Okay, well, I'm gonna say yes only because it's a comic book, it's a video game.
Was it a comic book before the movie?
No.
I don't know if
So
he's a
what?
superhero.
What are you on crack?
Because
But
if we're going by this logic, then I'll say the L.A. River scene in T2.
Okay.
Terminator's a comic book, so if we're gonna
Okay.
use
Why
RoboCop logic, we have to use it
you
for
don't hear
Terminator.
us saying Terminator's not a superhero.
All right. I would just figure.
Do you think
A
superheroes
superhero-
only come from comics?
I think yes.
Do you think Hercules came from comic books?
No, he doesn't. I wouldn't consider Hercules a superhero though.
What the hell?
Holy smokes, he's super
It's-
and a hero.
They're I think we're splitting hairs. Like
No, you can't. You don't get to say that anymore for this
like
show because you've
a
said it like
panini
15
is a sandwich,
times
but
already.
a sandwich is not a panini, right?
Wait.
No.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I
okay,
mean?
wait,
Like,
yeah. Like a
there's-
square is a rectangle, but
Ricky,
Yeah,
a
but we're not-
superhero
we're-
does not have to come from comic books. Like that is very
I mean,
narrow-minded.
I'll pull the
to,
trump
like,
card and say I think Jesus is a superhero. Like
he is.
you're
He
splitting,
is.
You're splitting some weird hairs here.
If you wanted to say
saying
Passion of the
splitting hairs.
Christ,
I don't think you understand what that term means.
if Passion of the Christ is your third superhero action
Ricky,
scene,
It's getting
a
a sequel.
superhero is a character
Spoilers, he comes
that
back.
typically possesses superpowers,
why'd you spoil it?
abilities beyond those of ordinary people, and fits the role of a hero. That has nothing to do with comic books. In fact, there's entire comic books that don't feature superheroes.
In fact, we only interpret this as movies. This could be. It says
I
what's your
didn't
favorite
interpret it as movies.
But I mean, it says what's your favorite superhero action scene?
Oh, that's
like,
fair. Yeah,
we
did
could have brought
for
up
the-
books,
for the
book
question.
moments,
Yeah,
or video
for
games.
the question we did.
Yeah,
that was our bad. But yes, you're right. I mean, anime. You're telling me everybody in My Hero Academia is not a superhero because they didn't come from an American comic book?
or Sky High.
I didn't
Well,
say I didn't say American comic book.
Okay, but I'm saying like Dragon Ball Z.
There's
I
some
don't know
good
if they're
ones.
superheroes.
I like the one as a
What?
Broly.
I don't know why you don't know this. I just gave you the literal
Even though there is
definition of
literally a
superhero.
movie called Dragon Ball Z Superhero.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, you got. It's not even splitting hairs. That's like the furthest thing from this. Like,
Yeah,
the
so
literal
some
definition.
hairs are split.
The
hairs have
literal
been split.
definition of superhero is someone with superpowers that acts heroically.
Well, let's
Sounds like
let's-
Ricky's gaslighting and gatekeeping.
we should split from this question and move on to the next one.
I mean, so yeah, Jesus. I mean, turning water into wine is a pretty good action scene.
Oh, that's a great
Okay.
one.
Yeah, just saying. All right, I didn't anticipate it was going wrong, but this is amazing though. Um, at I can see your hole.
Where are you
Why
finding
is
these
it
people?
so satisfying to watch horror flicks that have kids die in them?
Yeah,
That's a
as I
Frank
always
question.
yeah, I was gonna say, as I always say, it's because you know that there's a sense of realism when a kid can die. Usually, kids get plot armor, and kids and
Yeah.
animals get plot armor. So when you see a kid and or dog die in a horror movie, you know shit's real.
I think the emphasis is on seeing it, right? Because like perfect example is it, the most recent
Mhm.
uh it movie, like it's the first one. When they rip that kid Georgie's arm off and you see it,
Yeah, I was
they
like,
fuck that
whoa.
kid up in the first 10 minutes of that movie. That sets the bar. That
Yeah,
those kids are not safe. And it just made that movie so much more tense. That
yeah.
that's the bar they're gonna go to.
It's true. Frank and I often point out to each other whenever we watch something that has a kid die
This is kid
because
killing.
it instantly makes it worth watching.
Yeah. There was I think it's called Bloody Christmas or Christmas Bloody Christmas, something like that. It's on Shutter, and it's a robot Santa. It's a military grade android robot Santa Claus kind of thing. Or I don't think he's an android, but it's a robot Santa Claus, and it goes ballistic, or it's being sold commercially, and then it goes ballistic and kills someone in a town. It's like Placerville or something, and like one of the kids, it not only kills a kid, but it throws its beheaded corpse at someone in a later part of the movie.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I
I
think
like that.
Krampus, they fuck up some kid to Krampus too.
that's true.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. I
Alright.
think Frank answered that perfectly.
Please don't
Uh
clip
and and
that.
and Ricky. Please don't what?
Don't clip any of this conversation
Oh,
because
Good
I'm
old
going to.
kid killing.
I'm
yep,
gonna
good
I'm
old
gonna
kid
clip
death.
that so hard. All right, one last question from at Tom Hardley 86. Why the fuck did you watch Catwoman?
Oh man,
I mean, I had never seen it,
You know
and
what?
I've heard
Ne-
about it.
Neither had I.
neither
Really?
had I.
Are you wait, Frank, are you serious?
I'd
None of
only
us had
played the
watched it
video,
before?
or I'd watched the video game being played like a
I
long
had my
time ago.
excuse of my youth, but you guys didn't. That was like prime Dennis and Frank times.
It did not look appealing
It
in the
looked bad.
slightest. Yeah.
Okay. I mean
Uh
that was part of my questions to you guys before we got into this. Like,
well, I'm glad that
you
it was
know,
asked there.
what
I
was
I think the answer for why did we watch it today or this week is because I guess we kind of just answered that, right? Well, we thought it'd be funny to watch. And I think that's I think it'd be funnier to discuss is honestly.
mhm.
But I'm shocked. I didn't know all three of us had never seen the movie until this week. That's awesome. I'm excited. Why don't we do this? Let's do the
All
spotlight
right.
on it now.
Ooh.
Oof.
What? What is
Who's
this?
gonna kick off this Catwoman convo?
I'm gonna kick it off because it's an old movie, and I want to give a little bit of like some preface
Yeah.
before, so then we can because I think we do a bad job sometimes of just recapping a movie or whatever we watch for the audience that's watching at home.
Mhm.
First off, I don't expect everybody watching this to have watched Catwoman. If it's 2023, if you spent the last 19 years never watching Catwoman, that's fine. That was
You
a
won.
perfectly fine decision. You're good. You're good. We did this for you so that you wouldn't have to. So, yes, we did go watch 2004's Catwoman. Uh, and, I mean, we're going to spoil it, but
I was
whatever.
just
I
saying,
don't think
we're
we're putting
we're
this
we're like
spoiler
Ricky's
warning out there.
favorite superhero, Jesus, in that we
Yes.
we did it for you. We suffered for you.
But let me give you the quick recap and then some little details before we get into like our
All right.
opinions of this. So the film centers on Patience Phillips, a meek designer who discovers a conspiracy within the cosmetics company she works for that involves a dangerous product that could cause widespread health problems. After being discovered and murdered by the conspirators, she is revived by Egyptian cats that grant her superhuman cat-like abilities, allowing her to become the crime-fighting superheroine Catwoman, while also romancing a detective who pursues her. Okay, that's the
Wow,
synopsis.
if you're just gonna make stuff up, Dennis, I don't know if I want to be on this show.
That's the synopsis, and then let me give you just a little bit of background on this movie. It was released theatrically on July 23rd, 2004 by Warner Brothers,
during Comic-Con.
Was it?
and performed poorly at the box office, grossing $82 million against a budget of $100 million. The film received 7 Golden Raspberry Award nominations and won in the categories of Worst Picture, Worst Actress, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. The film was lambasted by critics, and many considered it to be one of the worst films of all time, with criticism directed at the performances, direction, CGI, editing, costume design, pacing, plot, dialogue, and unfaithfulness to the source material, which includes the lack of connection to Batman.
Wait,
Woo! That was a mouthful.
what do they mean lack of connection to Batman? There was a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer in the Thievius Raccoonus that Francis Conroy gave to Patience Phillips.
There was, right? There
Yeah.
was a brief okay. I'm just gonna put this out there, guys. I'm gonna put it out there for you guys to
Okay.
just deal
All right.
with it. I actually didn't hate this movie.
Oh my! I was just say the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Okay. So let me before we get into our Catwoman retrospective. What? So you guys really didn't watch? Like, do you remember like why? Did you guys know it wasn't Batman adjacent at the time?
Yeah, it's very obvious from the trailers. It's not Batman adjacent.
But
Like, it's
also it looked
very
like
obvious.
shit, like utter shit. Like
It looked terrible. The
just
costume looks
her
terrible.
costume looked horrible.
The
She had
mask is
stiletto
huge
heels.
on her head.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes her head look really tall. Like, and we could tell that in the trailers we didn't recognize any of those characters, right? Like from any Batman story or anything like that.
Yeah, they would have used something like Black Mask or something like that, and they
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, hey, that's Firefly, that's Black Mask, that's Gentleman Ghost," you know?
And you got to understand, this is like right after we had gotten like
You got Spider-Man.
Blade
We
2,
got Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
X-Men. Like
You're on an upswing.
we were on
Yeah.
on a roll, and then DC pulled this shit on us, and we're like, what the fuck? I'm not watching this movie ever. And then yeah, I think the media just took control of the story and how terrible it was. And I'm like, well, I have no reason to ever watch that movie. So like literally today is the first time I've ever watched this movie.
I mean, that's where I was at. Like, I known from the zeitgeist that this was quote unquote a bad movie. I think famously Halle Berry picked up her Razzie in person for this movie.
I heard about that.
Good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah,
Good for her.
she owned it.
And it lost money and it wasn't good, but I'll say this, if this movie wasn't called Catwoman, if it literally just had a different title, I don't think the hate would be as much as it was.
I have a question for you.
Possibly.
If this movie wasn't called Catwoman, would she still be a superhero?
No.
Was she a
Fuck you! Fuck you! She's a superhero, you liar! You can't say that just because.
Jesus as a superhero and then not put Patience Phillips as a superhero?
Yeah, she's a superhero. Just because she's not one that was printed in the comic book before doesn't mean she's
So
not a
so
superhero.
let me put it to you this way. Does the Karate Kid lose any cred because it's not about the DC version of the Karate Kid?
I've never seen the Karate Kid. I didn't even know there was a DC Karate Kid.
What the
Yeah, this hurts. This hurts a
Oh
lot.
my, oh my god.
This hurts a lot.
Hong
Anyway,
Kong Fooey is my karate,
oh my gosh,
and
is not karate.
that's
That's kung fu.
That's racism.
as I've learned, that's not the best source.
Hong Kong
of-
Fooey is
Anyways, we're
martial
getting
art,
off. We're getting off track here. Frank, what did you think of this movie?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with this. I kind of was thinking about it as I
Okay.
was watching it. You know, Klaus Badelt did the music, and he famously did the score for like Equilibrium and Pirates of the Caribbean. The dun 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 dun. You know, so you can kind of tell his music. And I was watching it, and I was hearing the Pure Moods like theme song, the Sa Do Moi, you know, kind of
I
music
liked it.
playing, and I'm all like, I'm getting into this. I'm getting into this movie, and then like the record scratch moment for me was the moment she talked and she busted the Spider-Man, the "Who am I? You sure you want to know?" You know, kind of thing. And I'm all like, "What the fuck am I watching?" And then like I couldn't help
But
I'm
but be
not gonna
but
lie,
charmed.
the intro was compelling.
but
Yeah,
was that? I mean, that was of its time, though, right? Like that's like.
there is a lot of I mean, she doesn't really narrate through the whole movie, so it's inconsistent.
Mhm.
It's inconsistent for sure because like you if you're gonna narrate, you expect it to go through like Batman, like the
Yeah,
Batman,
Mhm.
he does it through the movie. Like
exactly.
you
But
need to have the consistency. Yeah,
and then when I saw her, I'm like, oh shit, it's the Laney Boggs, Cheetah, Edward Nigma type kind of character, and I'm like, okay, this is familiar.
she was a little tropey for sure.
So
Yeah,
I think what I liked about it most was the tropes, and there were a bunch of setups and payoffs, and I think that was pretty cool. And I think Benjamin Bratt's only my second favorite Benjamin Bratt. I always like Jimmy Smits. I think he's my first favorite Benjamin Bratt. But if you can't
Ernesto
get
de la
Jimmy Smits,
Cruz.
yeah, he's definitely
Benjamin Bratt was selling it. He was looking pretty good in this movie,
yeah, yeah,
and
Like
he was a pretty good guy. And
he- yeah,
I liked that he owned the mistake of assuming that she was trying to commit suicide, and then realizing, oh wait, you're just a crazy lady that actually would risk her life to save a cat.
yeah,
My
yeah,
bad, my bad. Because like that's pretty damning to assume that somebody's trying to commit suicide, and
yeah.
that's the only reason they'd be out
I
on a ledge.
It
I
was really cool to see him reprise his role from Doctor Strange, also. So that's pretty
I
cool.
felt going to this movie, I was gonna watch utter dog shit. That's kind of what the internet prepared me for, and I felt like what I've got was like day old Little Caesars, and
You know what I
I'm not above
honestly
Wow, is
that.
that good, huh?
I'm not
here
above it.
here's my argument, and Ricky, you feel free to argue this one
Mhm.
against me. I liked it better than Morbius.
Oh yeah,
I l- I thought it was very tropey, like the shit with like, give me a White Russian, but hold the Kahlua,
The
the
hold,
vodka.
hold no ice, no vodka,
Yeah,
hold the Kahlua. I'm like, wow,
and
that's a
at
lot of
that
breath.
moment, I
That's a
was
lot
like,
of
"Fuck
breath.
it!" Like she's doing the whole cat thing. Like let's because it's very clear. Like she's not the Catwoman as we know. Like there's literally no connective tissue.
Yeah. Well,
Like
you know what made that okay for me?
mhm,
Life. My life experiences of Catwoman. No Catwoman has ever been the same Catwoman, right?
yeah.
Like Frank and I grew up with three different ones
mhm.
just from the old 60s show, right?
Who
And
was your out of those 3, just sidebar, who was your
Lee
favorite?
Merriweather.
Yeah, me too. Okay, cool.
But I loved Eartha Kitt also.
She
I
was good.
loved Eartha Kitt. It's just that I have a special place in my heart for that movie, that Batman
Yeah,
movie,
exactly.
and
That's why
that's
I like Lee Merriweather the
That's
best.
Lee Merriweather, right?
Are there no
No,
Catwoman stories like this where she actually gets powers? Like, is this kind of completely out of
You
left
we
field?
well,
can we can argue Batman Returns.
that's not even Catwoman. This is a different character.
Yeah,
This is not
This is
Selena
a
Kyle.
Catwoman. This
Yeah,
this is not
yeah.
the definite
But
article.
is there a story adjacent to this where a Selena Kyle or a another woman gets cat powers and goes
yeah.
by the
It's
name of
called Black Panther
Or we could say
2,
Batman
Wakanda
Returns.
Forever.
Did they say
Bat
They mentioned Boss in the movie, right?
Boss is a real god. It's a
Yeah.
yeah.
real Egyptian god. Yes.
The reason we can say that Batman Returns Selena Kyle gets the
Mhm.
powers is because she's referenced in this movie as a Catwoman who got the powers
And also
Ah.
her whole origin was like she died and then got
and was
up and
resurrected by
suddenly
cats by making out with
resurrected.
cats.
I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
the CG in this movie a little bit better than Black Panther in some parts.
Dude, you know what? I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
Like I heard the CG was terrible in this movie, and there were times where I'm like, is this
It's pretty
terrible
good.
or
It is
is it
pretty good for
pretty good?
is
I
it
like
dated? For sure,
Yes,
given the
yes.
yes.
times. 19 years old. But is
Yeah.
it good for its time? Yes.
I think
I
the
yeah.
only uncanny valley moments I really had was when well, after you die, I guess, your first power upon being resurrected as a Catwoman is having She-Hulk vision because like the CG was pretty bad in that sequence.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like She-Hulk levels of bad.
When the cat
The CG
breathes
cats were rough.
COS into her,
The CG
she
cats were
shit dead.
rough, and I
That was
was like,
The Terrigen Mist.
couldn't you use
yeah, the Terrigen
a
Mist.
puppet, please? Something like that. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
you know what's kind of funny about those scenes though? My cats don't normally react like when I play Stray or something that have cats in it, but for some reason, like they were like they kept looking back at the TV every time like a cat would meow.
Like,
So I wonder
what's
if they
this
used real
uncanny valley? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't know. I wonder if they used like actual cat words or cat meowing or something
Cat
because like
words.
Or
maybe they said like the N-word equivalent in a cat language, and my
Whoa.
cats were
whoa,
like, "Hey, what's this guy?" Because they were worried about it. They were worried about what the cats were saying.
Yeah.
cats were talking shit.
Yeah, like mad shit.
But the scenes where she's doing it's like a POV shot where she's climbing, like especially in the bank and climbing on
Oh,
the walls. I thought those looked really good. I thought that was a really
It
cool
looked
shot,
it looked pretty good.
and
Yeah.
I don't think you see that type of shot in most modern Marvel movie, like or not any action movie.
no, but they
I
were pretty
disagree.
imaginative
I
too.
thought her movement was very reminiscent of Mantis in the Guardians holiday special last month, like when she was like jumping like from post to
No, but I'm
post.
saying
Like,
that specific POV camera on the face type of like that specific shot I thought
oh,
was
you
really,
mean the zoomed
really
in?
good,
I
and
gotcha.
they did it a few times throughout that movie.
I think to add to that, they were really tactical about what they used the CG for. They didn't just
Mhm.
use CG for like every single shot, like what you see in a lot of modern Marvel movies. They were I don't know why we're comparing it to Marvel. We should be comparing it to DC, but anyway,
First the
they,
Bible.
they were tactical about it and they used it when they needed to. They didn't seem to like they didn't have an over reliance on it.
No, they
In
was
my
a good
opinion,
I
blend.
I did feel like they bronzed her up really hard so that she would be shiny and match the texture of her CG equivalent more. And it was a
Fair.
very off-putting thing because like
makes sense.
I'm like I would look at her body every time she's walking around and I'm like, how much did you apply to yourself before you went out for the night to go beat the shit out of people? Like it's really it's an intense amount of like sparkly shit on her skin.
That's a
It was
secondary
I just
mutation.
always like whenever literally everything she did, there was a pose with it. Like
Yeah,
she's talking to the burglars, like,
but you know what?
"You looking for me?"
I kinda dug it because she was owning it, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's the thing. She yeah, so, like I was
she
saying
went full
earlier,
Halle Berry in that role. Like I don't feel like she phoned in her Catwoman performance.
I don't think she phoned it in at all. I thought she was actually really good once she got to be Catwoman. I agree with Frank, like, the Patience Phillips at the beginning of the movie was, like, a little eye rolly, but, it was also weird how long it took for us as the audience to know what the hell her name was. Like,
yes.
it was, like, 10 minutes before they gave us her name or something like
Well,
that. That was
I accept the eye rolly, the Patience Phillips trope of it. Like that made
I
it
didn't
seem
mind it.
familiar to me because you knew where it was going anyway.
Like, in
yeah,
weird
yeah,
So I
hindsight,
appreciated that trope.
it almost felt like an anime or like a manga. Like,
yeah,
everything's just so
like, with
tropey to the
with
point.
superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Everything felt so tropey that you just kind of like when you accept it, you just like, "Okay, this is not a bad movie." Like,
Yeah.
it,
'cause
it reminded me of what Dennis and I were talking about with Sonic the Hedgehog. Like it was so predictable. It was so good in its predictability. Like it didn't try to Ryan Johnson up the script and subvert
Yeah,
expectations.
it
It
did
just
not subvert expectations at
it
all, except genetically, huh?
unapologetically, just did its thing,
The
did its trite, done thing.
the only thing it maybe did at the very end was subvert the expectations that she would go and be romantic with the guy, right? But
Yeah,
instead, she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go do my own thing." And I was like, "You go, Catwoman, you go,"
go
like
girl. Yeah,
but I gotta say, like, the thing, like, we're saying, like, high praise kinda stuff about this movie, like, it's not a great movie, don't get me wrong,
no.
it's very rote, like, everything that happens in it, you've seen a million times in other superhero movies. With that said, the if you really wanna watch somebody act like a human cat, yeah, that's what she does. She acts like a goddamn human cat through the whole movie, and it's kinda cool. It's kinda cool
It's
because, like, it's their own thing.
it's a popcorn film, right? Like, again, it's I think we talk about this from time to time where if I wanna go see the Oscar-nominated movie, I'm gonna go pick up that film and make it a thing and go in with that expectation, but if I just wanna be entertained for an hour and 45 minutes, I didn't feel bad about watching Catwoman.
Yeah, but the other thing about it that, bringing it back to what I was saying about how I liked it more than Morbius, which by the way, Rotten Tomatoes Catwoman 8%, Rotten Tomatoes Morbius 16%. I think it's because nobody's gone back and
It's that
reviewed
Leto factor,
Catwoman
baby.
recently. So I highly recommend all three of us go and review it
oh
positively and
no.
say, I don't know, guys, have you watched it lately? But the thing
Okay.
that I really liked about it versus Morbius is it actually had something to say. It didn't do it well, but it did have a very clear point of view, which was showing how like the cosmetics industry, or you could, you could translate that to the entertainment industry or just workforce in general, how they make women go through so many extra hoops to just to exist, right? Like in the same world as in the same space as men. And so I thought Sharon Stone's character was really cool, like how like it starts with her being ousted as the face of her cosmetics company because she's gotten too old for a woman, you know what I mean? But like the man is allowed to go and date 20 some year old girls like whenever however he wants, and it's like it is a very one-sided world that we live in where men don't age badly, you know what I mean? In the same way. And like I really thought that was cool, like that it kept showing you all the things, the extra things that women have to do just to be competitive with men. And and like I also really like how they try to make you believe that Sharon Stone's husband is the bad guy, but, I mean, we've seen the previews for the movie and stuff and seen the video game, so we know that Sharon Stone doesn't sign up to be the side.
Yeah.
She's obviously the villain, right? But I appreciated that the story was trying to present that to somebody who has no knowledge of this fake universe that they created anyways, like, it's it's kind of a surprise that it's actually Sharon Stone because Sharon Stone actually her character champions patience in the beginning of
Hmm.
the movie, right?
Yeah.
She's a woman looking out for this other woman. And she's like, "Hey, give her a shot. Let her redo the art, the art design.
Wh-
So and
which
let
is
her
kind of
come in
funny
at work at
because
midnight because that's when people work."
when do the CEOs ever get involved in the art department? Like,
I know,
pretty
I
sure they have
know.
a guy who has a guy
Oh
who has
yeah.
a guy that
But
goes to them.
that reminded me of, like, the Jim Carrey of Batman
Sure.
Forever, right? Like, how like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
people have way too much access to, like, the most important people of this company, it's really awkward. And why are the most important people of this company working at work at midnight? And why is everybody working at midnight? Like,
You you know
they
it's
made
also funny, like, so, when they make technology references in movies,
Hmm.
and, like, you're like, "Oh, that didn't age well," "Page me," or something like that, but Jimmy Smits kinda early on says, "Yeah, I Googled it," and I'm all like,
I know, right?
"Yeah, that makes
I was
sense." Yeah.
like, "Wow, that's surprising,"
I
because
mean, if
most times they will not reference Google because they don't want to have to pay Google, right?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was
and he just straight I
they
Googled
were
it.
actually
I'll
Googling
be
shit,
He didn't say, "I'll Netscape Navigator it," or,
right?
"I'll ask Jeeves." I asked Jeeves.
I was quite surprised by that. I did not expect that, and like I felt the same way that you did, where I was like, "Hey, this age is better than a lot of
Yeah,
movies."
it's
Like,
kinda weird, huh?
yeah, I kind of felt, I guess I guess I'm glad that I watched it now in 2023 rather than in
like, do you
2004
think you would have
because
liked it less if you watched it
no,
back
I
then?
would have hated this movie in
No, I
2004. I
would
know
yeah,
I
it
would have.
would've been horrible.
I
I
know
would
I would have.
I agree.
I
But,
would have
like,
said
it's weird,
it's
like,
the worst movie ever, but then I hadn't seen Green Lantern yet. Like
it
um,
it follows a lot of the same, I don't wanna say pitfalls, but it follows a lot of the same formula that the MCU, dubbed the MSHU, kind of follows. But I think in a weird way, it handles it a little better in this movie. Like, it's a little more subdued,
Mhm.
than it is as the MSHU. I think the payoffs are a little better in Catwoman, and it's kinda weird to say that, but
Well, because it goes full circle where I think it if they stopped halfway through with the tropiness of it all, right, I
mhm,
don't think it would've worked, but they just commit to it. So it's like, yeah, like you come all the way you come full circle by the end of that movie,
yep.
you know?
yeah. Do I? Is there a part of me like that's that purist that says like, why wasn't she Selena Kyle? Why wasn't she in Gotham City? Why wasn't she?
Did they ever say the
Why
city?
no. Why I didn't
No,
like the
no.
CG city of it all. Like they kept doing it reminded me of Batman Forever. They kept doing CG zoom ins of buildings and stuff like that for like cityscapes and then zoom into a building. And I was just like, can't you just use a real city? Because you're not like I don't. It's got to be cheaper than this. But I I I get it. Like I understand. Like there is a me that would have been really cranky, and I knew that then. I knew in 2004 that that wasn't Selena Kyle. I knew because I'd seen interviews and she's playing Patience Phillips, and I'm like, what? Who the
Who the
f is
fuck is
Patience
that?
Phillips? And
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh shit! Did I already use the f bomb?
it's fine.
Sorry.
But no, it's. I was just really weirded out by those things then, but like here we are, 2023, and I'm like, so Darren Cross is MODOK? Okay,
No,
fine. It's
whatever.
fine. Because like at a certain point, it's like, do you just want to see the thing and you just want to see them do the thing, or do you need
Yeah.
it to be
No, absolutely not.
everything? Like, do you need it to be everything, everything?
I
And
don't want any of it. Like in this
y-
day and age, I'm done with all of it. I'm so done with all of it that Catwoman was a good movie to me.
but that's what I'm saying. Catwoman was all the things
I
that
mean,
that
she did the
is not
thing. She
that it's
had the
not.
whip.
Yeah.
She robbed a. She got jewelry. She
She had bling on
she
her
had bling.
claws.
She drank milk. She
She but sh
purred.
You can't deny that she was the most Catwoman there ever was. The Catwoman,
She's
She's
like,
in,
pretty
she's
Catwoman-y.
yeah,
with Benjamin Bratt eating
yeah.
sushi, and she's like,
She's wolfing down the sushi.
cats love fish, so let's make a scene where she eats a bunch of fish. Like,
So if
So
left unchecked, when I order salmon sushi, my cats will go fucking ham on it just the way she did. So, like, I was kinda glad for the inclusion of that scene. That was one of 3 moments that made me laugh out loud. The second moment was, when they were playing basketball, and the kid at the end is all like, can I have my ball back?" Like, that part cracked me up. Like, they didn't care that
I
like
will say the basketball scene was probably the most painful scene for editing. Like that was some serious.
some quick
There was
cuts.
like 18 cuts in like
I
5 seconds of
wanna
that
disagree
scene.
with that because there was a conversation between her and her friend Sally that had, like, 6,000,000 cuts. I was getting, like,
Okay,
a seizure from that
I mean,
scene.
yeah,
that's from the time
I
though.
got a seizure from the basketball scene, but
Yeah.
yes, like I think that was. I think the editing betrays that movie. I think the dialogue betrays that movie, and I think the the I think her costume betrays that
Her
movie too.
costume
Like
greatly betrays the I
it's
actually I
she
liked her
looked like a
costume from the
hooker,
jewelry
man.
store. The
Yeah.
jewelry store costume I thought was pretty cool.
The jewelry store
I'd like the
costume
jewelry
was
store costume.
cool. Yeah. I
But
really
but
liked her in the jewelry store, but I don't understand why those were like the worst jewel thieves ever.
they didn't
They're
say a word. They didn't say a
they
single
were
word.
terrible.
Say, if I had to pick a Catwoman costume, like if we're ranking live action Catwoman costumes,
Yeah.
I think Anne Hathaway is probably number one. I
Oh
really
my god.
like the
I
Okay.
like Anne Hathaway.
costumes alone. Just
You guys like that? Okay.
I
I
like
like
what
Anne
they did with
Hathaway's
the
the best.
goggles and the ears. I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Anne
Um,
Hathaway is my favorite
I do like
of
Zoe
the list.
Kravitz costume, the her little beanie with the ears,
No.
and then I go with this one, and I put Michelle
Wow.
Pfeiffer
Michelle
next.
Pfeiffer's last.
Oh, I definitely don't put Michelle Pfeiffer
I put
last.
Michelle Pfeiffer last on my list.
You put Michelle Pfeiffer in the corner.
Yep.
No, no.
I
I
think
just
she's my number 1, Michelle Pfeiffer, and then Jewelry Heist costume is number 2 for sure.
the thing about Michelle Pfeiffer is if you've ever seen that costume in real life, like at a Planet Hollywood, it is insane how thin that waist is. Like
Yeah.
it does not make sense that she wore that, but it's cool. It's cool. Like and yeah, and that was real whip work that she learned how to do.
Is
Like
that
Telling me
I
true?
don't know.
Halle Berry didn't do whip
Yes.
work in this
That's
movie.
cool.
No, she actually took the heads off those mannequins
Oh,
with the whip.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like that was legit. Like they were very impressed with Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie.
Well,
Um
that's cool. That's
yeah,
back in the day when you actually had to work out, unlike Natalie Portperson in, Thor: Love and Thunder,
She was pretty buff.
with her non-beefed out arms. In real life,
that's a
she
hot take.
she does not have
She
beefed
was
out
she
arms in
was
real
pretty
life.
buff.
Natalie Portperson?
She
For
was
that movie, she
buff.
was pretty buff, yeah.
In the movie, she's buff. In real
She
life,
got
she
pretty
wasn't buff.
buff for that
Did you
movie.
not see like
Sh
production like stills of her like when like
I
behind the
did, and
scenes?
she's definitely not as buff as she is, and
No, she's
Yeah,
not buff now. She toned
they
down because
juiced
she
her a
doesn't want to
bit
look
and
like
then the
that.
movie. Not gonna
yeah,
they're
they juiced
No,
they
she was
CGI juiced her.
buff on
she
the
was pretty
set of
buff
that
though.
movie.
No.
She was really buff.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can move on because that's
Well,
not
you're the one
Yeah.
that
true. That's
brought
not
that up.
true.
Catwoman,
Yeah.
I loved
I
it.
brought that up because it's not true.
It
No.
it's
The only cat thing she didn't do was shit in a box.
Maybe that's in the deleted scene or
But
something.
she did. I love the little catisms. I loved her little sayings. like when she's with Benjamin Bratt on the rafters of that Cirque du Soleil random rich people play.
The Shen Yu or whatever it's
Oh my
called.
gosh. Well, I'm trying to think one thing she said, like she's teasing Benjamin Bratt with the handcuffs and gives him a kiss, and then Benjamin Bratt like takes the kiss imprint to this forensic lab, and
Yeah,
oh
it
my god,
takes
it's
you gotta take the kiss
so
imprint to the
so
forensic lab.
cheese.
I will say, I thought he was a decent cop up until he tried to confront Sharon Stone by himself with no backup,
No
and
backup,
then got
yeah.
shot. Like, I'm like, did you think this part through, Officer
Mm-mm.
Lone? Because that's dumb. You know who else was great in this movie? Alex Borstein.
Mm.
Oh my God, she was a great supporting character. She tied it
Is that
back
Rosie
into the main
O'Donnell?
story.
Rosie O'Donnell, no. That she had like
No,
a Sokovian accent, I think,
it's
because it sounded like
Alex Borstein's from Family Guy. It's Lois.
so she had a Sokovian accent because she
Um,
sounded like a 20s gangster the way Wanda does. That's what
Yeah,
she sounded like to me the whole time. "Man, see, I
but
really like Benjamin Bratt, see, yeah."
I just really enjoyed that character, and I really wanted to see the final scene of her with her face melting off, and I was a little disappointed that we didn't get that. But no, other than that, like it was cool that they worked her into the whole movie, like like a
She was
movie can live.
the fun friend, the fun, goofy
Yeah,
friend.
she was the fun friend. At least she got, like, a name, like, the gay guy was just, like,
I
generically,
Yeah.
"Hey, look at it's a man sandwich," and I'm
You know,
like, "Okay."
watching it, I was very surprised that he didn't get a bigger role. I thought he was gonna be like the pug or like
It
the
felt
kind of
like he
hype man.
would have
Yeah.
been in a 2020 movie, that guy would have had, like, a
Th
whole
that's the only
sub-story.
subversion that actually stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing I wanted to go back to the making me laugh. There's a CG scene, the cat scene when she was drowning. It made me laugh so hard that I got a headache, and I had to turn off the movie and take a nap because I was laughing so hard when those cats brought her back to life during that
the
scene.
cat circle.
Yeah, the cat circle, and they're all, like, dancing around and,
Was
like,
it better than Cats, though?
it was 100 times better than Cats.
Oh man,
And then the
I,
cat's all looking, and it's all,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dancing and
that
stuff, and, like,
movie
oh, man.
is like it starts out with the history of cats, basically, in
I
the
thought this
intro
movie
credits.
started the history of Cats,
Yeah, it
though,
gives
like
you it
Oh
gives
no,
you
I'm
the
saying this movie
Egyptian.
starts with the history of cats, and then when she figures out something's wrong, she searches the web and
she
cats dot
searches
women,
cats dot woman.
diabolical
Cats
cats in
Not Women, yeah.
history, and that's the one that just sent me. It's like
Was she Googling or was she Netscape navigating? Was it Google?
Well, we didn't see because they zoomed in. Like the
Oh,
movie relies heavily on like zoomed in shots often, but to its benefit in the navigation or the search sequence, you don't get to see the Google tabs or anything like that. You don't get to know.
that's
you know,
before they beefed up their lawyers.
yeah, right. Pre this show starting, I was talking about the Thievius raccoonus that Francis Conroy throws to Patience Phillips, and like, dude, there's a knight that's a cat that has little ears
Yeah,
built
I know.
into her helmet. That's
I know.
amazing. That's probably my favorite cat person. That's the cat person I would love a prequel on if they were gonna ever bring this back. If James Gunn is listening, hey
You,
man,
you know, God bless Frances Conroy for doing that movie because she really does do as much as she can with this weird character that's like the Doctor Strange of crazy cat ladies, as far as I
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell.
She's Madam
She
Web. She's like the Madam Web of
Yeah,
crazy cat
yeah.
ladies.
I'm
Well,
not gonna knock it. Like,
who was the witch, the crazy witch in strawberry cherry brand new cherry flavor? Boros,
oh,
Chloros?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Catherine,
What the hell's her
it's
name?
the girl from Get Out.
Yeah, the girl from Get Out. So, like,
The woman from Get Out, yeah.
that person, like, she gave me that person's vibes from brand new cherry flavor. Like, she
Yeah,
was like the
I get
weird.
it.
She was like a mix between her and Madam Web to me, but for cats.
Yeah.
Like if the upcoming DC feature film, The Flash, if he travels in the multiverse in that movie and lands in the Halle Berry Catverse, I would be pretty fucking stoked.
I liked her. I mean, in the grand scheme of DC movies, this was a better one than a lot of DC movies, man.
Yeah,
Like,
this
it really
When
was.
did Superman Returns come out? How?
2006.
Okay, so these aren't too far apart. What was the DC movie before this? What was their? I guess Steel movie.
Batman and Robin.
Okay,
Batman and Robin.
Is that right?
Probably
what
Batman
was
and
that?
Robin.
1998, 99?
No, wasn't it Batman Begins? When was Batman Begins?
That's
Batman
05.
Begins.
Is
Yeah,
it 5?
05.
05,
Yeah.
yeah,
Batman
right after.
Begins happened after this?
Yeah, they were probably
Wow.
filming. Yeah,
Maybe they teed
No,
up Batman Begins.
no. Batman Begins was. Oh, you're right. It was
it was
I thought it was
05.
2005.
2003,
Yeah,
Batman.
because
Oh, yeah,
Dark Knight
2005. Yeah, you're
Dark
right.
Knight came out the same year as Iron Man.
8.
2008.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
Hmm.
how far we've come.
Hmm.
It's like when you find out that the Amazing Spider-Man came out like the year before the Avengers, and you're
It
like,
came out
wow.
after, didn't it?
No,
Or
it was
was it
before. It
after?
was 2011. Avengers came out in
Yeah,
2012.
yeah. It came out in 2011, and then Avengers 2012, and then
No, I
Spider.
think after, because I remember seeing. I was in high school when the Avengers came out. I was not in high school when the Amazing Spider-Man came out.
Oh, it says Amazing Spider-Man came out in 2012.
Yeah,
When in 2012 though? Let me
think
see. July
July.
3rd?
Yeah,
July?
yeah.
Wow. So right after
Yeah, it
Avengers?
was just right a few months after.
Oh, like
Avengers May,
a month or two
May
apart.
5th.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Well, in
Schooled
any
us. Ricky
case,
schooled us.
um,
Were you guys surprised to have a positive? Because again, I was watching this movie. I watched it at work, and I
don't-
was just like, I don't hate this. Like, it was just super.
I
It was
don't
a
think you're
super weird.
supposed
I
to
had to
say it.
reissue.
I don't think you're
I
supposed to
like
say
this
that
way
part.
better than working.
I mean, it was more entertaining than my workday for sure. So
I'm gonna say this. Do I think it's a great movie? No. Do I give it like a 6 out of 10? Yeah. Like it passes. It
if
passes like
you're cleaning the house, would this be on your TV?
No, absolutely not.
I would let this movie be on the TV though. I would because it's kind of
Wow.
funny. It's kind of funny,
Still
right?
funny, right? Yeah.
In the same way that, I can't ever stop watching Batman Forever. Like or how
Mm,
you like to watch Batman and Robin.
mm,
This
mm.
is campy fun, right? It's campy fun, and I feel bad that I've denied myself for 19 years the opportunity
The
to laugh
opportunity to
at
watch
this
this.
movie.
So
Yeah.
unironically, you give it a 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
good 6.
I would.
Is that yours, Ricky, too,
Yeah.
also? Because I would say the same. What so like, jokingly, like, as a just stupid movie, what do you give it a different rating? Like, do you have different scales? Like,
I
I
don't think I have
don't
different
I mean, like
scales, but
I
like if
don't
I
think it was stupid
c
enough to make me laugh out loud.
like
because
It wasn't.
as a real movie, you'd give it like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, like, critically, like, you'd give it like a
like
2 out of 10
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
something,
yeah.
but,
We're
like
talking about superhero movies. Yeah,
sure,
if
sure,
like
okay, yeah,
superhero
if I
movies.
were to
that's what I'm
sell this
trying to
movie
clear up,
on
okay.
someone like, hey, like a coworker would be like, you want to have a real good time? You should get drunk and watch Catwoman. That'd be a
I
pretty
wish
fun
I
night.
was drunk. I would watch this movie again, honestly, like wasted. Like it was so much better than I thought it was gonna be. And I'm I'm honestly sad that I just denied myself that joy because I was some like hate-filled purist that you
We're
know what
gonna
I
wear
mean? Like
shirts at the
it's
next
so
Comic
much more
Con.
fun to go like
Catwoman's not that bad.
I know it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for you last year when we were like, "Hey, we got to go watch Morbius," and you're like, "I don't want to go watch Morbius," and so Ricky and I did it, and I was angry because I didn't really enjoy that experience of going to see that movie in theaters.
Yeah.
But I have it in me now, right? Like it's there. I've seen it
It's
now.
a part of you.
It's a
It's
part of
Morbin
me,
You're a
too.
right?
better man.
It's a part of me, and so like it makes me question what other movies are out there that I refused to go see back in the day that maybe I should try watching because hindsight is 2020, right? And like I think this movie aged a lot better than a lot of superhero movies have. Like just accept the fact like you Ricky started from saying like if you just accept that this movie is not Catwoman and it shouldn't have been called Catwoman, but it should have been called a Catwoman
A Catwoman. That would've been a cool
or
title.
yeah, or the Catwoman, you know what I mean? Like
Cat chick.
slap an article on
Yeah, what
there,
did the guy say? Cat Broad? Cat
Cat
Broad,
Broad,
Cat
yeah.
yeah,
broad.
Cat
Like,
chick.
or Crazy Cat Lady. I would be cool with Crazy Cat Lady.
That's a cool
Um
title.
It's a cat lady. It's a full-on cat lady,
It's
and
like a
it's
gunpowder milkshake-esque
yeah.
level title.
And if you have space in your heart for The Mask or Batman and Robin, you can have space in your heart for this movie. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's campy fun, and like the action's pretty cool for
It's all right. Yeah.
cat action. Like
Some of the establishing shots were really good too. Like they use a lot of angles and they use a lot of weird like one shot takes of the
Yeah.
camera like going in from the window like through the
you mean the
apartment
CG
and
city buildings and stuff
looks
like
really good.
that?
I
Yeah.
like I know you hated on it, but I actually like the CG city buildings.
I don't
Mhm.
mind it.
Um,
I think it
the
brought me in.
the one thing that kind of took me out of it, well, it kind of made me laugh, but in retrospect, thinking about it later on, is when she gets stabbed with glass, and instead of going like "Meow" or something like that, she goes like she makes like the weirdest monkey noise ever, and
That was
it
jarring for me because I think it was such a chill movie, and then she just gets shanked in the leg, and I was like,
yeah,
"Whoa!" That was
yeah, I was like,
violent.
whoa, I
I
wasn't
didn't.
expecting that. Yeah,
I was more cool with Benjamin Bratt getting shot in the shoulder than I was like her getting stabbed in the leg. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like I
whatever.
I think I'll put this movie above that middle 2000s era of Marvel movies. Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You're getting crazies
I
there.
I think I like the I have to be fair, I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
Mhm.
But from memory, I think I like this
It's
one
not
more.
better than Fantastic Four. Okay.
I think it's better than Rise of the Silver Surfer, but maybe not
Here,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
Fantastic
Here's
Four.
the thing. Like Chris Evans kills it in that movie, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's
he's
the
charming as hell. Michael
yeah.
Chiklis is amazing.
He's yeah. But it's fine. We have so many crappy movies that we can watch throughout the years, and revisit. I found a list of about 400 American movies that are all
Oh
superheroes
shit.
that aren't DC or Marvel. So Ricky probably thinks none of them are
Yeah, they're
superheroes.
probably not superheroes then.
Um, like the Lone Ranger
Oh no,
is.
that's a problem. I don't know if I can support that movie.
Do you know there's like a bunch of them, right? There's not just.
It's not just the Army
I
Hammer
I
one.
Yeah.
I know
You know
of the
Christopher
I
Reeve has been the Lone Ranger too, right?
yes, I know
You guys
Christopher
should bring me back
Nolan,
for
Lone
Zorro
Ranger.
the Game. You guys watch that one.
Zorro the Gameplay. I know Zorro, right?
Yeah,
That's another good one.
that's
But
really good.
anyways, like I think we should do more of this. I think it'll be fun, like to go and revisit things that maybe not just Ricky has not seen, but like I had fun with this one, and so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you want a good time, get hammered, watch Catwoman. It's way better than you think it's gonna be. You guys
And
got
it's
anything
way
to say?
better when you're hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else to add, or are we gonna wrap this up?
I think we'll wrap it up. That was
I was gonna say
I
I
think
hit
I'm
every
just we're
point.
all in collective shock on how much we all enjoyed that movie.
We
Yeah,
did.
we're at a shock that it was a 6. That's amazing.
Hey man, it's got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. I expected to watch the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It was not that. It wasn't even remotely that. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say thanks to Frank and Ricky for nerding out with me today. We'll be back next time to talk about something else that I'm still working out the details of. I know up in the future in February we're gonna be rewatching the Ant-Man movies, just to kind of like get us hyped up for the Quantum Mania movie.
So wait,
But
you're gonna
yeah,
use Ant-Man and the Wasp to hype you up for that? Wow, that's weird.
we're gonna watch
Yes,
both
Sonny
Ant-Man
Birch.
movies.
Who uses Ant-Man and the Wasp to hype themselves up for anything?
Husband.
We do on this show, and you're not
Oh,
invited to that one. How about that?
all right, bring me back for Zorro the Gay Blade, and
I'll bring you back. Yeah, okay. And thanks to our patrons for supporting our growth, and to our audience that tunes in later. This is pre-recorded right now. If you had fun, please remember to like and subscribe, and check us out. Uh, where, Frank? Where can they check us out?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
Oh no, you
Has
lost
anything
the
changed?
juice. No, it's
Has
the
anything
same.
changed?
On Patreon.com.
On Patreon.com. Be sure to
Yeah,
check these two out on
and
Patreon.
and
I'm not
you can
there.
also check us out on the Soapbox, which is our live show Friday nights. And yeah, we'll be doing that. So yeah, I think see you next time on Dan Excelsior, true believers. Enough said.
See you guys.